Graham always gets you.
Yes. All right. Hi guys. Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Not Axe Murderers podcast, or NAMP for short. I'm one of your co-hosts, Flare Gun, and
I am other co-host Graham, the water boy.
oh, there you go. I thought you weren't gonna say it. I was like, is he just gonna say his like real name? That's so boring. And
Thanks, Gun.
you're welcome.
Throw me under the bus again. God, we're not
Oh,
even like 30 seconds in.
no, actually, we're more than 40 seconds in, so deal with it. You were wrong. But, please, we
Yeah,
haven't.
Graham, get out of here.
We gotta introduce our guest. So we have
I got sidetracked. Go ahead.
we've got a very special guest today. For our first double digit episode. Woo.
Ooh.
Pickle, if you want to introduce yourself, who are you? Who are you? What do you do?
Hi, folks. My name's Michael Bacallan. Y'all can call me Pickle. I'm a member of the Urban Axes Baltimore community for about 3-ish years. I recently hit my first 81. I'm super excited about it, and I'm just pretty new to axe throwing. I really enjoy it. You know, I think with the recent political climate and everything else going in the world, you know, the best thing you can do is find like a really great community that helps build you up. And this is that for me. So this is just like what I do in my free time, and I really enjoy it. Aside from that, I'm a successful video game tester for Wargaming. I help make the game World of Tanks for Xbox and PlayStation. And I'm a big video game and movie nerd. So, you know, I'm great to be here. Thanks so much, guys, for inviting me on.
Yeah, let's go. That was one of the best intros we've had. That was great. That was
Thanks,
that was
guys.
beautiful.
What's your blood type? What's your sign?
Yeah.
You know, I actually don't know my blood type.
Really?
Which is probably bad because I am a grown adult. You know, it's probably something you should learn. So learn from me, guys. But my zodiac sign is the Sagittarius. Great. I know the important things.
Let's go, Sag twins.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah. To be fair, I also don't know my blood type. So.
Right. So you know, we'll get there, right?
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll all be tested by the end of the show.
Right. Hopefully.
Special episode. We all find out our blood types.
And the guests. Yeah, it's a very informative episode, right? I mean, it takes so much to get into the doctors these days. Maybe we could, right? We get like a sponsor.
Yeah.
You think Blue Cross or like Kaiser Permanente would sponsor that, guys? Maybe. These are all things to consider.
People in the axe community who would help us do this.
Probably. You know,
Totally safe, totally legit, you know, by the book.
Okay, this is
an episode for another time, right? You're writing this down, Sam?
No, I'm sorry. Look, I think there's a lot of great ideas. I think this is not one of them. I think
Jeez.
I think we gotta let the blood stuff go. I think we gotta
Okay.
Yeah. Do you wanna Graham, do you wanna ask the first question?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's never done this before. It's his first time.
Yeah, this is so new to me.
Do you want me to interview you, Graham? Would that help you feel better?
Ooh.
No, it's a different episode. Maybe April Fools, right? You had me come back.
There you go.
I'll like shave my mustache. I'll put a fake mustache on, right? Next time.
So I will have to ask though. I mean, I don't even know the answer to this myself. Is how you got your axe name, Pickle? I feel like
so. It's actually just a self-given nickname that I've always liked. My last name is Pickle, which sounds like similar to pickle, but is nothing spelled remotely close to.
Right.
But I've always just liked pickles. And when I met my current group of friends after I had been finished up with school and stuff when I was working at Micro Center, we had another guy in the group who was also named Mike, and it was just easier for everybody to call each other by their last name. So he was Coleman and I was Pickle. So it just kind of stuck, and I've always liked it, you know. And self-given nicknames I think are always been my thing. So.
What's your favorite type of pickle?
Definitely a Clausen. Probably half.
Okay.
I don't know, like quarter slices never feel like enough, right? But a full pickle, like it's not the same sensation textural wise, eating just like a full pickle versus a half. So half pickle for sure.
Wait, there are different kinds of pickles?
Yeah, I mean, at least to my understanding, I think every brand of pickles is kind of like, because I think the way the pickles, it's like the juice that it's like that absorbs it, right? So I think
Yeah.
everybody makes the juice a little differently. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
then
so
how you cut it.
interesting.
So yeah, so do you
Huh.
like pickles? Do you like chips?
Yeah, definitely like full half size
Spears?
pickles. I mean, like definitely like
Half
fried
size.
pickle chips. If I'm gonna eat like fried pickles, definitely like fried pickle chips. But like
You like in
otherwise,
chip
big
form.
pickles.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a size guy when it comes to my pickle.
I hate it here. Okay.
What? I like to live life large.
So, how did you actually get started axe throwing? Like, how did it happen? Did you just go to like Urban one day? What's the story?
Yeah, so I actually just kind of did go to Urban one day. So a really good friend of mine was getting married, and his best man, unfortunately, kind of bailed on planning him a bachelor party. So I actually put one together last minute, and I lived downtown with my fiance, now wife, and we lived probably like 10 minutes away from Urban. So I was just like, oh yeah, axe throwing will be like super cool. Why don't we just do that for a bachelor party? So I planned like this whole thing, and we went, and like me and my buddy whose bachelor party was, we really liked it. So I just ended up taking Erica back one day. Oh, sorry, excuse me. And
Okay.
we played a round of axe throwing. I think our coach was a gentleman named Kyle, who I don't think works there anymore. Pour one out for Kyle. He was a great guy. But yeah, he just really got us into it. And I think one of the league members happened to walk by when we were throwing, and they just mentioned it to us, and we just kind of went one day. And Erica, unfortunately, I think she's kind of hung up her axe a little bit. But yeah, I love it. Every Tuesday, it's like the thing that gets me through the week. I'm super excited to go.
Have you always been in
You
Tuesday?
guys. What's
Yeah,
up?
right. Thank you. Have you always been in Tuesday?
Yeah, so I can't remember who. I think I can't remember her last name. Hannah, though. I think Hannah, who was in
Yeah.
league on Tuesday Green. She was on Tuesday Blue. She
Tuesday Blue,
basically walked in. She was like, "Oh yeah, Tuesday Green's like where all the sweaty, hard, like really good throwers throw." And I was like, "Okay,
Sweaty
sick.
hard.
I want to get good at this, so I'm going to sign up for Green." And actually, I think I told Eric at the time that Green was like the easier league, because I was like, "Oh yeah, it's the Green League. Like yeah, we'll be fine." So I regret nothing. I always am one of the type of people that I think you're going to get better at something if you do it with people who are better, right? So that was always my interest and stuff. So yeah.
Hands down. Yeah. Hannah, Rainbow Sprinkles.
Yes, Rainbow Sprinkles. Yeah,
Yep.
he's great.
Yeah, one of those things where you got another axe name. That's how you associate.
Exactly
we discussed
right.
this, Sam and I, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like earlier, Sam was like, I'm like texting to like, oh, is Mike ready yet? And she's like, who's Mike?
I didn't
like,
say.
oh.
I didn't
Right.
say
I know
who's
you didn't say that
Mike.
way,
I was like, ew,
No, it's okay.
Mike is gross.
Right. No, it's okay. That's what who's it? CJ. I love our coach CJ,
Yeah.
my boy. He says the same thing. Like the other day, because Erica doesn't call me Pickle, she only calls me Mike. So she said, "Oh yeah, Mike. Like, what are you doing?" And CJ like whispered to me, he's like, "Yo, man, who the fuck is Mike?" And I'm like, I couldn't tell you. That's just how it is.
So your first league, moving into that, how did you find your own first axe? What are you throwing? What do you got?
So
How'd you find your axe
originally,
to throw?
the night of my buddy's bachelor party, I think I was so hammered that I bought an axe because I'm a huge movie buff. And at one time, I think at Urban down in Baltimore, they were selling the replica Axe Gang axe from Kung Fu Hustle. And I'm a huge Kung Fu Hustle fan. So I bought the Axe Gang axe because someone was like, oh yeah, it's just like a little bit better than the house axe. I was like, all right, screw it. I mean, I love the movie. So I was using that for the longest time up until recently, actually at the end of my 2020, what was it, 2024? Geez, that's funny. But at the end of my 2024 season, my good friends Justin and Erica gifted me an axe that they had. I think it's a Flying Fox. I'm not super good about those type of names, so sorry if I mispronounced that. But they gifted me that axe, and that has been a tremendous help. And I would definitely credit that for part of the reason why I hit my 81. Getting the right, not necessarily that the axe I originally had was bad, but I think just this one kind of fit my throwing style a little bit better, and that definitely helped me get a lot more confidence that I could know I could stick and stuff. So definitely makes a big
it's great. It's great how different people find out which axe works best for them.
Oh yeah.
I think I've tried a Flying Fox. It worked for a little bit, and then I changed something.
Right.
I still want to get one back at some point, and it's like it's just finding what works. And
Yeah,
That's
it
great.
was funny too because I think the axe that Justin and Erica gave me was a hand me down from somebody else because nobody could get it to stick with their throw. So ends up working for me, which is cool. But I always joke with a good buddy of mine that now that I hit my 81, I want to make my own axe because he has his own blacksmithing forge. So I might do that one day.
Oh,
We'll
that's
see.
sweet.
Oh, that's
That's sweet.
awesome. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So my dad at one point traced our lineage, and apparently we used to be some like Icelandic like Vikings and stuff like that. So that's the other part of the reason I was like, oh yeah, let me check out Axe though. Like, it's in my blood, like as a joke. But yeah, if it gets you out of the house, it was totally worth it. So I'm really glad I picked this up. And I think my whole life I always kind of had like a little hobby outside of my usual 9 to 5, whether that would be school or a job. So I always at one point I was bowling and then I was running cross country and now I'm throwing axes. So
Ooh, that's fun.
yeah, yeah, I'm not as good at bowling and running as I am at axe throwing, but I was all right. My mile time, I was proud of my mile time when I was in high school, but it's high school, right? It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, we talked about your axes a little bit, but what do you
Yeah.
actually well, one, do you have an axe bag? I mean, we know the answer, but for
Yeah.
the people listening, and
Of course.
what is it? And what do you have inside of it? What's inside the bag?
What's inside Pickle's bag?
I always feel like this is a loaded question because it's a joke, but yeah. So I actually used to play another one of my goofy little hobbies before COVID hit was I was actually really big into airsoft. So I used to go every weekend with a couple of my buddies to this place in PA. I can't remember what it's called, unfortunately, off the top of my head, because I give them the best shout out. But it was this really cool place. It was like somebody's really nice like extended piece of land that they bought, and it was like I guess an old campground that they turned into like this massive airsoft and paintball field, and it was cool. They had like a castle at both ends, and we would have 300 on we'd have like 150 on 150 games of airsoft. It was a lot of fun. But as COVID became more and more progressive, I wanted to be safer, so I pulled away a bit from that hobby, and since then I've repurposed it for an axe throwing bag. But I usually have, I wish I had it in here because I would show everybody because it's pretty goofy, but it's like an all skull gun bag. That's what I use for my axe bag. So anything to make me seem a lot tougher than I am.
So you touched your.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you touch. Yeah, you go ahead. That's right. Back
Yeah,
off.
sorry,
Just
guys,
kidding.
take your time.
You did touch on that. You got your 81 this season.
Yes.
Hip hooray!
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. That was great to be there for that. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
really
Yeah,
cool.
Thank you guys. Yeah, it was just like a really big goal of mine ever since I joined, and like I figured like I heard you got a coin. I was like, oh dude, I totally got to do that. So you can ask anybody who knows me more intimately than you guys do, even though you do both know me pretty well, that it is my crowning sports achievement for sure. Right behind the time my dad saw me chip in a 40-foot putt out of a sand trap into a hole one time we were playing golf. Right above that, hitting my 81. So it's pretty great for me.
Whoa! You play golf? Did I not know
Every
that?
once in a while, yeah. I
you
used
dabble,
to
you
have a
dabble.
set of clubs. I dabble, yeah. I unfortunately, I think I put the clubs in my dad's storage, and I have no idea where they are at this point. But yeah, I mean, if you let me know, because I think I heard you and Justin go every once in a while. If you guys want to go, yeah, let me know. I always like doing goofy sports and stuff. So I always joked with my family. I like a lot of people in my family are very athletic. And I'm pretty athletic too, but I always joke that I'm like into all the alternative sports, right? Like axe throwing. Not that it's not, you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like axe throwing, and I'm really into like UFC fights, and I was really good at badminton and in high school and stuff like that, and ping pong and swimming and running. But like football, soccer, you wouldn't catch me.
Okay, this is really important. Did you guys know that golf backwards is flog?
Okay, yeah, that does make sense. I
Yeah.
didn't, I guess, actively think about that, but that does make sense.
So
Yeah.
if you think about it, you're flogging the ball every time you hit it in golf.
Yeah. This logic completely checks out. Are
Yeah.
you trying to say, is this like the new science crab, or is this what we should call golf? We should call flog, right? Because like I'm
Yes.
down, we can do it.
Yep.
I don't know if flog is gonna stick, but we can try.
Yeah. Whenever you hit the golf ball, you got it instead of 4 now, you have to say flog. Flog.
Well, you only say 4 if you think you're gonna hit somebody, right? So I guess it even makes
Okay.
more sense to call it flog, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so you touched on that. Obviously, getting your 81 was your A great achievement.
Mhm.
Yes.
Would you say that's your biggest achievement? Was there anything else?
As far as I would consider a sports achievement, yes.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, I would say my greatest achievement is wooing my wife, honestly, but that's because I'm a
There you go.
romantic at heart. But yeah, I mean, I'm super glad I hit my 81, and I'm really hoping it's not the end. I think the last 2 or 3 weeks I've been like a throw or two off, so I'm hoping to hit more. I don't want to I'm not trying to be the next Justin, man hits a unicorn, but that'd be cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but no, I definitely don't think it's the end for me. I'm hoping it's just the beginning. I really enjoy, honestly, just seeing everybody each week and just doing like a nice little activity to get me out of the house. Because I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I'm a video game tester, which is usually all remote from home. So I don't get out too much. So it's usually my big social activity on Tuesday. So I'm hoping it's only uphill from here for me. I want to keep throwing in green. I think a lot of people sometimes they'll switch leagues just to like mix up and throw with other people. Maybe I'll get there one time when I'm really good. But honestly, I would really love to have a season where I throw in Premiere a couple times. I feel like that would be my next big step to get me really, a stronger thrower, I think. So maybe that would be my next goal after maybe I hit a couple more 81s, then we'll go there, maybe.
Fuck yeah. I don't know. I just can't encourage Premiere enough for like if you're on that improvement grind. I think it's
for sure, dude.
It's so good for you, as much as like people are like, ew, Premiere, but I'm also like, yeah, ew, Premiere. So
right. No, I'm
awesome.
much more along your line when it comes to that, Sam. I definitely don't think it's like you can't get better by not throwing out of your comfort zone, right? And honestly, you're gonna hit your 81, I bet, any day now. Like it's crazy how like fast you've picked everything up and gotten so good. So I'm sure you'll get there too.
No, I appreciate it, but thank you. So I think it's time that we make a little switch, all right? Because I know we talk a lot about axes on this podcast, but the other thing that this podcast was designed to do is to talk about nerd shit, all right? And I think we're gonna talk about some nerd shit, and
let's do it, man.
That's pretty pogalicious, all right?
So Gucci.
It's so Gucci.
So Gucci.
So yeah, moving away from axe throwing, what kinds of things do you enjoy like getting into outside of work and throwing? Because I know you said you were a big nerd.
Yeah, I'm a huge nerd. I guess like other than playing video games, which is what I do for a living, it's actually what I also do most of the time anyway. I know, surprise. But I'm a huge video game guy. World of Warcraft tattoo. I'm a huge music guy. Honestly, I wish I had more free time to go see all the King Gizzard shows in the world, but I don't, because it costs a lot of money. But it's worth it. If you ever get a chance, go see King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. This is my only shameless plug. I'm not going to talk about them anymore, I promise. That's a shout out to Erica, both my wife and my friend. You know who I'm talking about. Anyhow, I really just, really love movies. I'm a big cinephile, I think. I just love not even a particular style of movie. I mean, like I think my favorites like action, adventure, and horror movies are easily my two favorite genres. But just any movie that's made really well. Like you can ask anybody, I'll sob at the end of a good movie. Like Barbie, oh God, such a good movie. Big
Barbie
shout out.
Barbie was so good. I thought I was gonna hate it, but it was so good.
Oh my God. No, dude, Margot Robbie does
Yeah.
no wrong. She is like on top of being just a tremendous actress. I know she was a really big producer of that movie too. She just has like really awesome ideas. Some of the other movies I think she's produced and she's done great too. But yeah.
Well, that's we don't need to talk about her portrayal of one of my all-time favorite characters, Harley Quinn, and that horrific butchering of that character, but I think
that's not her fault. That is Warner Brothers' fault. Okay, that's not her fault. She understood the assignment very well, I think. But
I did. I don't necessarily blame her entirely, but it irks me. It will irk me forever.
It's just one of those things, I feel like DC's always really struggled to try to find a balance between like realistic and like actually staying true to their comics and stuff like that, which is why I'm really excited to see what James Gunn's gonna do now that he's in charge of DC's like cinematic universe. Really excited for his Superman movie. I think July 11th is when that comes out. Should be great. Very good. If you guys haven't caught the trailer, definitely catch that.
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Mike. Sorry, Mike. There I go again.
It's okay.
Favorite superhero.
Easily the Flash. If I have to choose DC, the
Why?
Flash, and Marvel, Thor. Flash because I think he, like from an alignment scale, I think he's like the most good because he's also like the most powerful. I think that in like, obviously in like the pantheon of DC superheroes, you have Superman as like the pinnacle, right? Like he's the most powerful superhero.
Yeah.
But I would say like the way that the Flash's powers work make him as powerful as Superman to a degree because it's just of like the impact of what he can do by like being able to run so fast and like revert time and undo things like that and stuff. So I just think to me like the Flash's archetype is usually portrayed like his emotional state. He's just like a really good guy. Like he tries to do the most good. He's not most of the time he's not the superhero that's displayed of becoming like power hungry or like giving into the anger of their emotions. He's always like a level head, logical type guy. And I think his powers are really cool. So that's why he's my favorite. And then on Marvel side, Thor. I just think that the version that they've done in the comic book or in the movies isn't as comic book accurate as I would like it to be, but it's not bad. I think Chris Hemsworth is an awesome Thor. But yeah, Thor is definitely my favorite. Him. And honestly, probably tied with Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom's great too.
Doctor Doom's great. So
Doctor Doom's great.
Also, I'm assuming too, when you say the Flash, we're talking Barry Allen Flash, right?
No, I'm actually going to say Flash is a general term because I would say it's a hard toss up between Barry Allen and Wally West for me.
Okay. I was so curious because I do love a good Wally. Wally's great. I feel like Wally is so underrated.
Yeah, I think it's just like it was one of those things like when I was growing up, they had the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited shows on Cartoon Network, and that was Wally West. And I think he was really popular then. And I think it was one of those things that they were just like, you know what? I think we're going to try to pivot back to Barry Allen being popular because like Wally had a really awesome comic book run and he was around for a long time. And then they're like, oh yeah, let's bring Barry back. And then they've like retconned both of their abilities and stuff like that. So it's really, to me, I think all of the, like, I really love all the iterations of the Flash personally, but like definitely if I have to pick a favorite, it's definitely a toss up between those two.
Okay. I will say Justice League Unlimited, literally goated shows, actually goated.
So yeah, and it's like I don't know if you watch the Young Justice on HBO at all. That show, Wally West, also great. Yes. So it's very hard to choose.
Yeah.
My lack of knowledge of some superheroes. I'm like, why did we just have a tangent onto Disney and Wally and Evie, and then I put two and two together. That we were not talking about Wally, a different Wally.
Different Wally West.
Oh, you mean are you talking about that robot movie?
Yeah, that's what you thought.
I love that movie.
Oh my god, I hate that movie.
It gets mixed opinions for sure.
I don't know. Well, I think
pretty much.
I saw that movie when I was like really young, and it kind of just freaked me the heck out for like so long, and I was like, it just I don't know. So I think because I was really young when I saw it, and I was like, it gave me some heebie-jeebies of some stuff, and I was like, oh man.
That makes sense.
I get that.
Okay, so how did you get into all the nerd stuff? How did you find out?
I think I've always just kind of been a nerd. My stepbrother, who's unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, he was also a big nerd growing up. And I think, I was the oldest between me and my sister growing up, and my parents were divorced and remarried by the time I was 3.5 and then 4. They were both remarried. So I think, I just always wanted to have, like, I've always been a social person. So, when my mom got remarried and I had a stepbrother, I was like, oh, okay, cool, sick. Now I've got like somebody to hang out with and stuff. So he was always a bit of a nerd, and he got me into a lot of nerdy shit. And it's always just kind of what I've gravitated towards. Like I like sports and I guess all those things that are not as traditionally defined as nerdy things, but like, yeah, I just like being a nerd more. And I think, it's one of those things. I think the saying is, as you get older, you learn to be more like yourself. And as I've become older, I've just tried to embrace that because that's just, the part of myself I like. And, I'm really grateful that a lot of people are being more into the nerd community and like, a lot of equality and like those type of ideas that are becoming more prevalent and stuff, which is nice. So hopefully that like continues and whatnot, because there's definitely incels and stuff that ruins it, and it can be very hard to identify and be positive with being a nerd, but it's just like, we got to be able to question ourselves so we can get better as a community too. So it's great. I love it because I feel like we're really progressive and we're trying to challenge ourselves, even though, not everybody is. I think a lot of people are. So it's cool.
That's awesome.
Mhm,
How do you define the term or word nerd? Because I feel like some people will be like, oh, us as axe throwers are nerds. It's like they're not the norm of a sport.
mhm.
Yeah. I think I saw like something in a magazine when I was really young, like some satirical magazine, maybe even, I don't remember, but it was like the definition between a nerd versus a geek. And honestly, I feel like my definition of nerd is more like a geek. So I feel like in this little post was like a nerd is somebody who's organized and book smart and they're really studious, right? And a geek is somebody who likes video games and all of that other stuff and they appear studious, but most of the time they're just, geeking out. And honestly, that's what I feel like I define more of a nerd is, because to me, I just feel like you should be as smart of a person as you possibly can. Like it's your best idea as like to do well by your fellow man is to be as educated and help prevail those ideals as you can. But like, on top of that, I think just like having a knack for all that electronics and, sci-fi and all that geeky shit, I think that's part of being a nerd too. So some combination of those two.
Yeah. I think, Sam, that's actually a better term that we could have used. It's more geeky. I think you described it well, Pickle. It's
there you go. Next interview, you guys can be like, "What do you define yourself as, a geek or a nerd?" Right?
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's really interesting because at least from my perspective, I think almost like the word nerd and geek, they've kind of like flipped nowadays. Because now when I think of like nerdy stuff, I'm like, oh, like comic books and anime and whatever. But now when I'm think of like geek, I almost feel like I'm like, oh, that's a book geek. Like that's
right.
that's
exactly
that's the quiet kid who's getting bullied in class. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know, man. I think everybody's getting bullied, right?
no, they are.
They pick on everybody.
For sure. But I'm just trying to give that like that stereotypical like image in your brain when you think of that person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it's I don't want to say that those words have lost meaning, but I feel like they're like
been blended together.
Yeah. They're almost
taking on their own meaning, their own definition.
Yeah. It's like it's like alternative interest soup now is how
exactly.
I would. Yeah.
What do they call it, Graham? A melting pot, right? That's what the U.S. is.
Yeah, melting pot. There we go. Yeah. Thanks. Pick on the old guy.
That's right. That's right. I'm old at heart.
You are.
So do you have a favorite video game?
Ooh, I think unfortunately I have to say it's World of Warcraft. Like I'm not proud of that statement, but I think by definition of hours lost, I think it's World of Warcraft. Not even a second. I would say tied with it is absolutely Elden Ring. Elden Ring is by far my favorite. I would say, as somebody who likes to make video games, because at one point I was actually helping a bunch of friends run a startup making our own video game. That's you can interview me on a whole different thing. That's way loud. I probably can't even talk about it. I'm probably under NDA now that I think about it. Anyway, the point is that as somebody who really likes the art form of video games, and like I'm really interested in seeing different designs and how people can come up with new gameplay loops and things that push the boundary of game design, I feel like Elden Ring is like the pinnacle. I've always been somebody who's into the Soulsborne genre, which is what that type of game is, and to me that's like the pinnacle of the design. It's really, they don't give up any difficulty for the style of game while also being very easy for like a new player or somebody who hasn't played that type of game to enter into. So, just big shout out to the FromSoft team. They did a great job with that. I'm very much looking forward to the new Elden Ring game that's coming out later this year. Should be a lot of fun. And so just those are definitely by far the two. And obviously I think a lot of the classics, like stuff like Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, the type of stuff, Star Wars Battlefront, Doom, Halo. Gosh, Halo 3 will live in infamy in my brain forever. So just those type of games, but mostly World of Warcraft and Elden Ring for sure.
What kind of platforms? Because Us, we know you have a Steam Deck, but
Right. Yeah. I play a lot of games with the computer, but honestly, I would say I've always played a lot of each platform. I've been very fortunate growing up that both my parents have been very well off, and even though my parents are divorced, they've also always been really good. And my dad has actually been a little bit into video games, so most of the time, he would pick a video game console and buy, and then I would tell my mom I want the opposite one for my birthday. So I actually was very fortunate and got to play a lot when I was growing up, and I'm lucky. Love my parents very much. They always did good by buying me stuff, and they could tell I was really passionate about it. So I always would play. Just honestly, I tried to play as many games growing up as I could on any console, and I always kick myself now because I tell people all the time that I wish I played more variety, because pretty much all I do is play WoW, which is great and terrible at the same time because I have fun. But there's a lot of really cool games out there and stuff. So just to me, it's kind of like going to see like Michelangelo's David or Leonardo da Vinci's work in person. To me, it's just like playing a different piece of art. So I try to stay as versed as I can as somebody who wants to make them.
No.
What was your first system?
My dad had a Sega Genesis. I think probably Sega Genesis would be what I would consider my first, which is an oldie. And then right after that, I got a Game. I think I remember getting Game Boy, and then my dad got me a Nintendo 64. So I've always been living pretty large for a kid. Yeah, I had a good variety growing up of good games. It was just my thing, man. Like I always got DSs. It was just I remember being 12, selling my old toys to my siblings so I could get enough money to go buy a new video game. That was just the type of kid I was. I had a job. No, it definitely existed. I just needed money because I couldn't keep asking my parents to buy me games. I felt bad.
I was talking about the program, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could trade things in only so much. The kickback on that was always bad. I mean,
the trade back it was really bad.
Yeah. So most of the time, as soon as I think I got my first job working at an ice cream stand in Howard County. Shout out to Soft Stuff, great place. I think it's still open down there if you get a chance to check it out. Great stuff.
That's a crazy name.
It is a crazy name.
That's an interesting choice.
I mean, it's soft ice cream. Like if you ever been to Ocean City, you get Dumzers. It's the exact same thing, but it's right in Ellicott City. It's really good. But yeah, I used to work there. I was a part-time manager there for a little bit when I was growing up. But as soon as I was 16, I had a job. I mean, that's all I did was I ran cross country. I went to school. I worked so I could buy video games. That was it.
Okay, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Since I know you're into the art and the beautiful creation of games.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Oh no.
played the game? Have you ever played the KFC dating simulator, Colonel Sanders?
I can't say I have. I've heard about this, but it's not my forte of game, right?
I played it through all the way for the meme. It is it's really funny.
As exciting as you'd hope.
It's actually pretty good. It's not that romantic. It's just really funny. So I would recommend thoroughly enjoyed. Yes, because it's really stupid.
Sometimes you need a good laugh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know what it is. I've seen it on. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't. That's what I was like. What is?
Oh yeah. No, that's definitely a Graham. Yes.
Yeah, I figured Graham wouldn't know what it was.
You're right. Oh my gosh, that is so wrong. Oh my gosh, no.
Oh yeah, dude. Colonel, it's the best.
It's the best.
Colonel.
They have so many like that. So many dating sim games like that. It's pretty goofy.
Colonel Sanders, like in his prime.
Oh yeah, there's also a pigeon dating game. You can play a dating game where you just date pigeons.
That's pretty fun.
And they all turn into hot anime boys. It's really funny.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, it has to be asked. How are you finding these, and why are you finding these, and why are you looking at these?
Because the algorithm recommends them.
I can't answer any of these questions.
Oh, you can't?
No, I can't.
Oh my god!
I mean, the heart wants what the heart wants, Graham. We're here to.
I know, and I
we're not here to kink shame.
That's crazy. That's an astronomical leap. How did we go from A to purple snuffleupagus? What? Okay, all right.
Pickle is just calling it how he sees it.
Bruh. That's what I would like to call a bruh moment.
Graham, you want to hit the horn for us?
The word. Like, good job.
Go off that. There we go. I'll take it.
Damn. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm leaving. I'm hanging up. Goodbye. Podcast over. Okay.
Gotta go see Colonel Sanders.
No,
That's
stop.
right. Gotta find Colonel Sanders.
I regret bringing this up. I thought it would
Walked
be.
into your own trap.
I did. I thought it would be funny, and now I seriously regret it. And
I think Graham and I are having a blast. I don't know. This is a fun time.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm excited for the new Monster Hunter game, though. I think that should be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna play it?
Nope, probably not.
Oh, that's fair.
Like I said, my game taste is terrible. There's just something about those Monster Hunter games that's just not really my style. I don't know what it is. Like, it's one game that I would enjoy watching, but it's just not really my game that I'd go out of my way to play. I'm like a really particular person when it comes to my games. Like, I very much, because I feel like I've been doing it for 30 something years at this point, I pretty much know what I like and I know what I don't like. So I think I could have probably been more into the Monster Hunter games had they been more available to me when I was growing up. Like, I think, I don't even remember what the first one I even had access to was. It might have been one on the DS. I think there was like a weird one you could get for PlayStation 2, but I think I just like wasn't really aware of that game when I was that young, right? So just not really played it, so couldn't really get into it.
Okay.
But it does visually satisfying looking game. Love the art. I love the fact you can like go to town and like have the cat guys like cook for you and then they can come out with you and stuff. I love that. Love that. Love those aspects of the game. Very cool.
Okay.
Anything with cats.
Yeah. Cats are cool. Sorry, another random question for you, because we were talking about Pokemon last episode, so we're trying to find Graham a favorite Pokemon.
True.
Do you have a favorite Pokemon?
No, I'm not actually really a Pokemon guy. It's funny story. I was actually just explaining this to somebody. So like when I was a little kid, I don't know, like I was like, wait, I have to get this animal to fight another animal for me. Like I don't like that none of that's okay. I fight my own battles. Like I'm not gonna let this cat fight for me. Like I don't hurt the kitty. Like that's just always how I was. So I wasn't really a Pokemon guy. You know, I also think a big reason, I'm not gonna lie, this is a big reason. I did used to play them on the Game Boy Color, and I think at one point I had gold version, and I think I left it in my mom's car overnight and like the window was open and it got wet and my whole game file got corrupted and I was like, all right.
Oh no.
So I think that might also be part of it.
Yeah.
Pokemon's never really been my thing.
Okay. You don't. That's.
Yeah. But all right, I guess like okay, so I could definitely if I had to pick a favorite, Squirtle for sure.
Okay,
Big
okay,
Squirtle.
good choice.
So we'll
Good choice. Okay, I think that's a good choice.
Very good.
Yes. Yeah. Big Squirtle.
Okay.
With the video,
Go.
well, with the video games, do you also like board games?
I do, but I honestly just don't usually have a lot of time to play board games. I feel like they're very time consuming and it's just like so I do enjoy a good board game every once in a while, and I do wish I had more patience and time to get into tabletop because that is a really cool hobby, but I just don't have the money to do it the way that I would want to, nor the space. Like if I did a hobby like that, I think I'd want to have like a nice like table and space and stuff, and I just don't really have access to that stuff right now. But I have painted some tabletop minis before and I find that very relaxing. Highly recommend it. If you like doing little things with your hand, you'd probably like it, because I know you're big in Graham, you would probably like it because I know you're big in the Legos. So
I like how you're looking this way on my camera.
right
I'm over here.
on yours, yeah.
Yeah, I actually think you would like it too. I'm pretty big into painting like tabletop minis. I paint all the time, so I think you would like it a lot, Graham. Especially
What, like Warhammer?
Sort of. It's really similar to
You can do it
Warhammer.
for D&D too. I mean,
Yeah,
like
you
I just bring
can.
up Warhammer because I think that's like a lot of people will normally do it for. But I did it for this game called BattleTech, which is like a mech based game. That's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever heard the video game series Mech Warrior or Mech Assault, Graham. They're older series, but that's kind of like what this tabletop game is based off. So you paint like little mech guys. I wish I have a box somewhere, but I don't think it's out, so I'm not going to dig for it right now. But
No, you're good.
Yeah, because like
I mean, I
okay.
did do Warhammer for a while, but it was more just like you said. It's the more the soothing part of it of just putting together the figure, painting him, making him look kind of cool with his weapon and how he's opposed, and then
right.
they just sit there, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I think I tried to play a little bit, but other than that, it's like no, that's
It's just like one of those things I just unfortunately don't have enough time for. And I've got so much time and money invested in like my electronics and stuff like that, so I usually just default to that, right? But one day maybe.
one day.
Have you ever tried like I'm just curious, like doing like
Yeah.
tabletop stuff online? Because you can do a lot of really cool stuff online with that.
Yeah,
Weird.
I just feel like it would be like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a half measure, but for someone like I'm one of those type of people. You either like I'm not saying it's like a right way or a wrong way to do it, but like I'm the type of person that chooses the hardest axe throwing league because I want to get better, right? So like if I'm gonna do tabletop stuff, I want to do it in person, like 3D print the whole thing, do all of that. I would enjoy doing that more. I feel like doing it if I'm gonna play on the computer and do it like that, I think I would rather find like a video game like Baldur's Gate 3 or Divinity and have, because I think they have game master modes, right? Where you can like write the mod and everything and then like play that across the. I would rather do that. I think if I'm gonna do something on the computer.
Hell yeah.
Mm.
What? Wow, I see how it is.
Oh yeah, you know how it is.
Bruh, there's I don't know.
Don't listen to him, Sam. Don't listen to him.
Sam can attest. She sees a different side of me when we do podcasts.
It's true.
I think.
Well, it's because no one can see how short you are, right? So you can get away with bullying her.
It's true. That is true.
Sorry, guys. For the record, everybody watching, I'm about like 1.5 inches taller than Graham, right? So I can say this for him.
That is true. That's true. Still taller, but just by much.
Barely.
Wait. I'm not taller than both of you. No, I'm definitely not, right?
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm actually 1 inch. I'm a couple inches taller than Graham. I think I'm a little taller than you, but not much.
Yeah, because I think we're like pretty close to the same height.
Pretty close. Yeah, I'm like 5'7", 5'8". I can never remember. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, average male height.
Okay. So, you have a piece of electronic equipment, and this piece of electronic equipment is called a Steam Deck, not a Stream Deck, which is a different thing.
Yes.
Very different thing. I misread the question when Graham first sent these to me, and I was like, wait, why are we asking about a Stream Deck? What? So for those people who don't know what it is, you want to?
I actually have it right here.
Oh wow!
Ironically, I have it right here.
Let me see your Steam Deck.
Yeah, so this is.
Pop it out.
Let me dust it off real quick.
Come on, take it out slowly.
This is my Steam Deck.
That was too quick. Put it away.
It's basically kind of like a Nintendo Switch, but it plays games that are run through this operating system and video game storefront called Steam, which is typically found on your computer. So basically, it's just a mini computer that looks like a Switch that plays all the games that my computer plays, or most of them at least.
That's pretty cool.
But the reason I choose that is just because most of my video gaming is on the computer, and a lot of my shared files can easily be transitioned between both of those systems. So it's like, oh, I want to sit on the couch, I just plop down and play that thing. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Do you have like a game that you prefer to play on the Steam Deck versus like playing on your PC or vice versa?
Not really. I think really just the like World of Warcraft, you can't really play with a video game controller. There's like a bunch of mods and stuff that you can do, which I'm actually in the middle of experimenting with to get to work. But if I play like Path of Exile 2 is another game I was playing for a little bit. I like to play Smite 2 and Marvel Rivals sometimes with some friends, and all that works on the Steam Deck. And those games use controllers, so anything that runs with a controller runs really well on that.
Okay.
And there's some other mumbo jumbo magic you can do to get it to function more similarly to a laptop, which I've done, and I use that to play World of Warcraft with I could show you guys my backup screen for that, but I would have to move my camera, and I don't want to deal with all that. But I have a system for everything.
That's pretty cool. Do you have a like I don't know are you into retro games at all?
A little bit, not particularly. The Steam Deck does have a function to do something kind of similar to that. I've got it set up, but like I said, I don't really use it, but I could if I wanted to.
Okay. Because I was just curious because I know you said you have like a lot of stuff. So do you have like a console that does either emulators that are totally real games, not emulations that are real for sure, 100%, or like I don't know, like ones that play the old cartridges or whatever?
Yeah, so I have a couple of my old video game consoles, but they're not set up. But if I wanted to play a retro game, I would probably download the files for it on my computer, and then I have like the Steam Deck that I have, it uses an operating system that is native to Steam called Steam OS, and it's a Linux-based operating system, which is a bit different than Windows, but you can put Windows on that thing. So I have an extra hard drive in that thing that I put Windows on, that I have an emulating program, I think Dolphin, installed on it as well. So most of the time, if I really wanted to run something like that, I have a micro SD card that I would load with the game and then throw it in there and then play it on my Steam Deck.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's really cool. I didn't know you could do that with the Steam Deck. That's really cool.
Yeah, you could do. Yeah, it's pretty. It's a couple of little goofy workarounds. I did it a couple of years ago before the Steam Deck came out. There was this thing called an NVIDIA Shield. It's like a little handheld game. I was actually going to give it to Graham. So, but I have one of those, and I used to. It's a similar process to get the games running on there. So that's the only reason I know about it. But yeah, I mean, playing old games like that aren't really my thing. I've always been somebody, like I said, I like enjoying and seeing the boundaries of games get pushed. So I'm actually not that big of a retro gamer, which is funny because of course I say I play World of Warcraft all the time, which
I was just gonna say, you can't say you're not a retro gamer if you're still playing World of Warcraft in 2025. Right.
I know, right? So I guess so. But the like the typical like Super Nintendo games and like N64 games, I just don't really go out my way to play that stuff that much. I'm not really a huge Nintendo guy. It's just never. I don't know. Like I'm not saying I outgrew that type of stuff because that's not the way I think of it, but like to a sense it's like it's just not the type of game style I really like anymore. Like I like mature games and stuff like that, and I'm really big MMORPG guy. Like I like the social aspects and social circles that you can form playing games and stuff like that, so I usually like to play games that enable those things.
That's pretty cool. And I did have to check, WoW is almost as old as I am. Wow, WoW's
the
really
25th
old.
anniversary, and if you play so there's like 3 or 4 different versions of World of Warcraft technically, but the one that is the original game that has been updated ad nauseum up to the point we call that retail, and that version just celebrated its like 25th anniversary.
Wait, 25th?
Game.
I think what Google's telling me is definitely wrong then, because it's saying 2004.
Yes, so I'm sorry. The reason it's the 25th anniversary is the 25th anniversary of Blizzard's games, which their first games came out that long ago. But yes, World of Warcraft did in fact come out in 2004.
I was so confused. I was like, wait, what?
Sorry.
I was like, no, okay.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. Now, the in-game, they call it the big 30th anniversary of Warcraft, which technically the series of games and stuff came out 30 years ago, but World of Warcraft itself did come out in 2004. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Were you a Diablo guy?
I am. Yes, I do love Diablo. I actually really love what those games are called. They're called CRPGs. I can never remember what the C stands for, but it has to do with the camera angle of how you look down that top-down angle. And I love those type of style of CRPGs. Path of Exile 2, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, is the same type of game as Diablo, a CRPG. And they're really good, but I think that, like I said earlier about how I feel like sometimes the bounds of video game design as an art form is kind of like, I'm not saying we've hit like the limit, but I feel like sometimes we're stifled because sometimes a company needs to make money, right? So they're like, okay, well, we can either push the bounds of our game or we can set it up so we make a bunch of money, right? So unfortunately, I think that's one of those game styles that is hampered by that. I think that they're trying to figure out how to monetize that game style. And because of that, everybody's kind of stopped making big leaps and bounds in the design of those games. So I really hope Diablo gets better because it is in a weird state right now. But I think that whole game style just needs like a new element. Not sure what it could be, but
yeah, because I feel like that when I grew up playing 1 and 2, I think.
Right.
And you had that same style play, and all that really changes is like the bosses and what like the weird story is, which is cool. but like the graphics really don't really change because it's so
Well,
not still
that, like,
pixely,
the
but it's
buttons-
good. It's good,
Yeah.
but it's not like because of the camera angle, you can only get so much.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know what the new mechanic is, but like the example I always like to use is like remember when I don't know if either of you guys played the video game Titanfall, or you know what that game is?
I know what it is. I haven't played it.
I know what it is. I've never played either.
Yeah, I haven't played it. So the cool thing, at least in my mind, about Titanfall is like that was the first game, first-person shooter that had like wall running. That was like part of the game as one of the movement mechanics, right? And then I feel like after that game came out, it did really well. And then Call of Duty, Halo, I can't even think of so many other video games start incorporating that type of movement style into it, where you could like run on the wall or dash across through the air and everything. And that was like a big thing for first-person shooters. It really designed and changed like the way that people design those games. That's the type of mechanic I'm talking about. I don't know what it is for Diablo, but Diablo needs that.
Yeah.
Also, the C in CRPG stands for computer.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess they just call it like that based on, they probably say it like that because most, at this point, I think a lot of those games can be played with a video game controller, but I think they probably called it a computer RPG because most of the time you had to play it with a mouse where you're like clicking to move and stuff like that. Because up until recently, they didn't really, I don't want to say recently, I guess it's probably in the last 10 years, but in the last 10 years, they finally incorporated those type of games onto a controller.
True.
That's true.
Do you want to, Grant?
What?
Do you want?
Hmm?
Do you want to?
What?
Do you want to? Do you? Have Dao Bing Bao.
Ding Bao.
Yeah, have Dao the Bing
Ding
Bao.
Bao, Ding Bat. Bing Bao. Oh, Bing Bao. Yes. I think I see one over there too. Yeah.
Wait, really? There's a bat?
I don't know. Is
Outside?
that what a bat is?
I don't know.
I said Bing Bao.
Oh, I thought you said
Is
have
that what a
Dao
Bing
the
Bao is? A
bat.
bat?
I don't know.
Huh?
Huh? What? Where?
The question, the Bing
Next
Bao.
question is,
Did you want to try transition, Miss Sam?
Oh, you want? I can do the transition if you want. Do you want to do it?
I don't know.
huh?
Wait, no, the audio people
play
have to
rap.
be able to hear your transition. You can't just do rock, paper, scissors. People need to hear it.
I feel like you're bossing me around. I want to do it my way.
Okay, all right. That you can do it your way, but
Yeah,
like,
let him science
yeah.
crap, okay? Let him science crap.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
See what he's got.
Gosh,
All
flare
right.
gun.
Go for it.
No, it's over. It's done. No,
The moment is past.
the moment is past. So, thank you, Mikey, for sharing all your nerd stuff, video games.
Of course.
I mean, it's gonna,
Oh.
we're gonna keep talking about it. Obviously, come Tuesday. What? I'm not ending
Sorry.
things. I'm just.
No, I know you're not ending things, but then I remembered a question
What?
I wanted to ask about nerd stuff before we end the nerd
Yeah.
stuff. And then I felt so
See, I
bad.
can't catch a break. I'm all set. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
So,
I was just gonna ask if there's any other nerd related stuff that you wanted to share before we change topics. Anything you want to talk about? Yeah.
It's sweet.
I'll allow it.
I do.
I second the motion.
No, I think we've covered everything. I'm a big video game nerd and stuff, so no, I think we got it. Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah. Okay, you can go back to your wonderful transition, water boy.
I hit it, Graham.
Thanks, flare gun.
Give it to us. We gotta get you. We gotta get you that bow, 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 air horn for Discord.
I know it
Yeah.
needs to be.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for extra sounds. That's the thing. Flare gun knows that. I'm sticking to my 6 I get, and that's all I want.
That's
1, 2,
right.
3, 4.
You
Hey,
only
there's
need
actually 6. Look at that. You only need 6. Yeah. So, Mikey, Mr. Pickle, Mr. Pickle. That's not bad.
Mr. Pickle's my father.
That is true. That is true. So yeah, thank you for all the knowledge in your nerdom,
Of
your
course.
nerd kingdom.
Anytime.
I know. Well, I know, right? Every Tuesday. That's all Tuesday is with you. That's kind of the one thing I was thinking to myself was, you are kind of like the bridge between what the fun people do. Not that we aren't fun, but
Right.
Tuesday Blue is fun. And then the serious people who want to, get better and strengthen their axe game. You're kind of that nice little hybrid. So is Erica too.
Mhm.
Other Erica.
Neat.
Oh, sorry, throwing bows.
No, I
Throwing
know
bows.
what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Throwing bows. Yeah, no, I'm really just here to get better and throw for myself. It's a lot of fun, and it's just really nice to see such like an open and accepting community. So it's really a nice thing to be a part of, and just as long as hopefully we can all just keep getting better at axe throwing. Right, next on the list is Sam hitting her 81. That's what I'm hoping for.
No.
I
don't know about that.
Like,
Come on,
just
Sam.
gotta do me.
I
You
don't
just
know
gotta
about
do it
that.
just like me. Just come in, don't practice, don't warm up, just throw it. Right, easy peasy. You got it.
I can't believe you did that. You didn't
Yeah,
do
just
anything.
get
That
out
was
of your own way.
crazy. That was literally
You
crazy.
just gotta get out of your own way, man. That's the secret to life.
I know. You're right. I do. I think I hit that 79 like literally like we had finished recording the episode and I was like, oh shit, that's my whole goal for the year. I already hit it. And now I'm in my head about it. So we gotta
Oh,
it's gotta leave. We gotta get the evil brain juices out, you know?
Yep.
that's right, too. That's right.
And if it helps, do it,
you
Mikey.
hit your goal, you just have a
Yeah.
new goal. Just set a new goal.
Exactly.
Hit 281s by the end of the season, right? You'll at least hit one.
There you go. Do a pickle date. Pickle, you were just so chill. You just turned around. We were all having
man,
conversations and talking.
I can't remember what this line is from, but I'm as chill as a cucumber, man. I think it's from like Grandma's Boy. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Oh, what about as peaceful as a pickle? I don't know. What's a better word for
No. I'm as chill as a cucumber, man. It's perfect. All right, I'm gonna have to look up and see what movie that's from now. I can't quote it and not know what it's from.
Oh, fuck yeah.
What?
A great movie. Pineapple Express.
Oh,
Remember when they go over to see the friend and you're like, what's wrong with you or whatever? Nothing, man. I'm just chill as a cucumber.
That's
you have a
perfect
cat?
that I would
No.
forget it's from that movie. That actually is about
Right?
as accurate as it gets. I mean,
Oh, it's a great movie. I love that movie.
yeah, it's a really good one.
I don't think I've seen it.
Pineapple Express.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
man,
you gotta see that
one
movie.
day.
Okay,
Great movie.
pineapple. I'm gonna put it on the list of stuff that everyone tells me to watch and listen to from Axis.
Yeah. Well, the extra funny part. Well, I don't know if you want to call this extra funny. That's not the right word for this. The extra part about it is that it's one of the only movies that you'll see Seth Rogen and James Franco in because they are no longer friends. They don't make movies together anymore. But that was like their first big one.
Oh wow.
I would say. Yeah.
Wait, what about it's the great sidetrack though. This is the end. Weren't they both in that too?
Yep. That was.
Okay.
I think the actual last movie they did together was The Interview.
Oh, that's right, because they did that one too. You're right.
Yeah, good movie.
I think you're right. Yeah. Very good.
It's a good one. Oh God, so goofy.
So good. So yeah, I wanted to just like, all right, we're done. I'm gonna go watch a movie. Should just put it on in
That
the
is me.
background.
I'm a big movie guy.
Yeah. So as we were discussing for those listeners and watchers, before Mr. Pickle joined us, we were just chatting about axe venues and how unfortunately there's been some a lot of closures recently, and just venues not being able to, stay with the times and being able to hang in there. So as most of you probably know, we all throw out of Urban Axis franchise.
Urbaning these nuts. Sorry. Very serious.
God.
I'm so sorry. No, that was crazy. I'm sorry.
You threw it out there. You're gonna get a bag of nuts come Tuesday.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
bring you like, here you go.
No.
My Pickle. Every time she says something and it like gets her in this little hole of giggles, it's amazing.
Too funny. Too funny.
Right?
Anyway.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that they're closing a lot of venues. I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. So moving on, unfortunately, Urban started with, again, everyone can correct me, but we had Baltimore, we had Durham, Boston, Philly, they had Cincinnati, Austin, and Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
So they had 7 venues running.
Yep.
think they got them all, which is crazy. And now we're only down to Boston, Baltimore, and Durham. Just down to 3. It's crazy. Yeah. Cincy closing last year, Austin now closing this year, as we were just talking about. They're about to have their last tournament hurrah coming up. I think it's this month or next. And
it's in April.
Oh, it's April? My bad. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's why you're here. Every time you do something, I'm going to do that now. For some odd reason. Way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. You have any thoughts on this? Well, Mike, you're new to it, so have you traveled to anywhere else, Mike?
No, I haven't had a chance to travel too much. But that does really suck that they're closing venues. I think if anything, hopefully it's just a reflection of the current climate of the United States and the economic state that everything's in, and it's not really reflective, I don't think, of the hard work I'm sure that the people have put into the venues. I used to work in the restaurant industry for about a decade before I started getting into video games and stuff like that, really. And to my understanding, at least from the different places that I've worked at, it can be a really hard industry to like get cracking. And a lot of restaurants don't see profits for after 5 years and stuff like that, minimally. If you're lucky, 5 years. So it can be really hard managing these things, and staying on top of it, and inventory control can be a lot more difficult and can be very sporadic. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that are affecting the different closures and stuff like that. I don't think it's reflective of the sport. It seems like every time I go to these axe meetings, there's plenty of people and everybody's really excited to throw and stuff like that. So hopefully, with the current economic state of everything, things will only hopefully end up getting better soon.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely, you're right. It's whether a venue only has one league, which is that's lucky the day you walk in on them, and you see it's packed, you're like, oh, this must be going well for them. Right. So venues like ours, which we have multiple days with leagues, and most of our leagues are always pretty well attended. There's plenty of us ones who want to keep coming back and keep things thriving for us in our community. What do you think about all this? Go ahead, Sam.
What do you think, Sam?
I think it's really interesting. I actually do think that obviously the economic stuff is part of it, but I actually do think it is a little bit of a reflection of the sport and how it's deteriorated quite a bit after COVID. I think some of the Austin people actually knew this was coming for a while, because I talked to some people at the Urban Open about Urban Austin and how it actually wasn't doing too hot. And they did think once the lease was up, they were saying it was probably going to be over. And I think realistically, because it's not, obviously there are lots of places closing, but I think with how rapidly and the succession of IATF venues specifically closing, I definitely think it's a reflection of that the sport isn't doing well, especially, like I said, I'm not as knowledgeable about Waddle, but comparing it to Waddle and looking at the frequency of their venue closures and that kind of stuff, or watching venues shift from potentially IATF or Waddle or just going to unaffiliated. I think that kind of there is a bit of a difference there. So I think some of it does actually have to do with the IATF as well as just axe throwing in general, because while it is it's not it is more of I guess maybe a luxury sport. I don't want to kind of, in a sense, it's not something you have to do. It's not a popular sport. Everything you put into it is going to come out of your own pocket, basically.
I have to do it.
Okay. Some of us have to do it. Some of us have to do it for our mental health and our axe addictions, but that's different. That's different.
We're different, right? I mean,
yeah. So I do think that COVID really impacted the sport quite a lot in a negative way. And obviously I haven't been throwing before that, but even when you look at things like when I was watching a lot of tournament videos, a lot of the videos before COVID, they had more views, even they had more people that were participating, regardless of rule set. And obviously we've seen some rule set changes, but I really think it's just like we're in a weird stage right now where we have to be able to bring more people into the sport, and there's this kind of weird gap of we're not really gaining enough people to be able to sustain the venues that are being open right now. And I think that's really interesting because other niche sports and stuff, like I think this would be really interesting to potentially dive more into in a later episode, but like to compare to see how they're doing the axe throwing, like population wise, how long they've been around, all of that kind of stuff. But I
don't know. I don't know if it's no. I
go
don't
ahead.
know.
Go ahead.
It's probably just a lot of people. I wonder if it was necessarily, like I said, if it's necessarily if it's the economic state or if it's COVID, because like the video game industry saw a very similar thing too. We were trending upward really hardcore during COVID, and then there was a ton of drop off, not as probably as quickly and as steep as it would be for like an axe throwing venue, but it definitely happened. So I'm wondering, I don't know if it's, I wonder if maybe at first the drop off was from COVID, and now the prolonged continued drop off, as you guys were saying, is like the premium cost for a premium sport, and now with the combined financials of it all too, you know, it might, it's probably a combination of factors like that.
No, I agree. I definitely think it's a combo of things.
Yeah. So what you're saying, Pickle, is that video games caused COVID so they could boost their money sales so people could stay home and play video games. I see. No, it's okay. I like it. I'm behind it. I love video games.
Oh, no. COVID. What a wild time COVID was. Feels like a whole lifetime ago, was really not that long
right?
ago. Crazy.
Yeah, it feels like it was so long ago, but it was not that long.
But no, yeah, Sam, you're totally true though. Back when, I don't know if you knew, Pickle, but I used to coach, and when I was coaching at Urban, the leagues were packed. I mean, it was like you had to be on your phone or whenever to get yourself signed up, and all the leagues were pretty much full. You had to definitely get in there to sign up, and
it definitely feels like
we've seen there's been times we're struggling, to fill the leagues to have enough capacity.
I definitely do sense like some bit of a fall off in the last year for sure. It definitely seems like we haven't been able to have as many people fill the leagues and whatnot. So,
but overall, I mean,
move away and stuff like that. So maybe they just moved too far.
Yeah, there's definitely people who have other reasons. It's not always. I mean, sometimes it's financial. Sometimes it's you got a new job, different work schedule, marriage, kids, etc. Everyone in the axe community understands that. Yeah, stuff definitely happens. But I think Sam and I touched on it before. It's like, well, what would sponsors do to help us? Would that be a helpful thing? Waddle has a little bit of that when they do their worlds with being able to get help from ESPN. I mean, that's freaking awesome. I mean, let's get Activision or Sony or something. Video game sponsorship, yeah. Can you imagine an axe throwing video game? Play as yourself. Ooh, that'd be fun.
It could be fun. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, I guess we couldn't do Wii axe thing, right? They were already having people put Wiimotes through TVs, right? I mean,
well, you could do, honestly, that would be such a cool, if it's not already a thing, that would be a great VR game.
I mean, unfortunately, I'm not too into VR stuff because I haven't seen that game that's made me be like, I need to get a headset. But as soon as they do, I will be there. Like I said, because of my career, I've actually been fortunate enough to go to this thing called the Game Developers Conference. And when I was there one time, I got to use a really advanced virtual reality setup where they had me wear a headset. I strapped into like a treadmill thing and used a weighted M4 to shoot targets in a virtual reality setting, which was really cool. But I just think that all of that stuff is way expensive, and we're so far off from being able to have that in like the everyday home setting. So maybe one day.
Yeah. I don't know if you know anything about this, Mike. Slight tangent. I took another axe thrower. Some people know her. She's slightly retired now, but not fully out. Raging Radish. She used to throw at Urban, but we went up to the Harry Potter store in New York. In the basement of their store, they have a VR simulation of like the Harry Potter world. So you put on the headset, and they put sensors on different parts of your body, and you go into this giant
the game.
You go into the giant room, and you're still able to walk around, but the way the game interacts with you, you're never going to walk off this giant platform, which looked like it was maybe 12 feet wide by 12 feet wide. It goes left and right. It can tip. It can tilt. You can feel the spray of water when we were like outside. You can feel heat. It was actually really sweet.
That's neat.
Terrifying because I'm like, am I going to fall off? Or
right. Yeah. You don't know what's going on.
Exactly. But yeah, something like that sounds similar to what you were kind of similarly talking about. But
yeah, it would be
really,
I mean,
it's really dope.
once they have VR stuff that catches up there, I'm sure the technology's got to get a little bit more powerful. Because my understanding, the hardest part about technology is making it powerful and small because it just has a heating problem most of the time. So hopefully one day they'll get that stuff under. They'll figure it out.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I think for like trackers, probably some of the best you can get right now, which are like open source. They're not. For VR, it's not incredibly expensive, but they're called slime trackers. But then again, it's like open source. You got to do a bunch of stuff to them, and a lot of people don't really have that like knowledge or know-how or all this. But anyway, VR is crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Do you ever use the Axe Scores or the Axe Scores app, Pickle?
Not too much, honestly, other than just to check my games and matches and stuff like that. Really on the night of, but
so Sam and I were discussing, so that we're getting a new Axe Scores app coming out in March. Yeah,
interesting.
But I think so we're getting a free version, which will give us limited access to certain things, and then for $2.99 we can purchase the unlimited, which gives us no ads, because we all love ads. And more advanced features and benefits. What I think as a lot of people have been discussing is that this new app is, at least my point of view, I might have told you, Sam, I know I told Erica, or Throwing Bows and Just a Little High, is that they should have done a trial period, I think a trial period, when anything new comes out, either do a beta or let us have it for a week or a month free, test out all the benefits, and then ask us, hey, do you want to keep paying or whatever? Or do you want to start paying for the premium stuff? Because it's kind of like we're all going to this blind. I mean, we know what the benefits now are now. We see what we can see on the computer, on the app. We can see what we can see on the website. But you're changing things up for us. So give us something to see first before we just start giving out our schmeckles to So
honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't just increase the amount that we have to pay each season by like a couple of bucks. I feel like that would have been the smarter move, to guarantee that they could have gotten money from the app, and then at least maybe they would have had better money to develop it. I don't know. It sounds a little money grabby in my opinion, but like I said, I don't know. I haven't used it, but it seems like all these features should be things that should just be included. But if we're going to have a premium thing, I feel like the harder pill to swallow is the way that they're doing it. If they wanted it to be a smooth transition, they probably just have just included it in whatever fee that we normally pay each season. Because I think that's part of what we sign up for, right? Is that we pay like a small fee to waddle every time we have a season, or am I missing?
Oh, you said waddle. Wow.
I'm sorry. No, am I telling the wrong thing?
Well,
no, you're good.
So
go ahead.
Okay. So that's sort of part of it. There's been a lot of like mixed messaging, to be honest, because there's like, on what they say that the actual fee is that we pay for, there's one line that talks about like Axe Scores features that they're like, oh, this is for this, but the fee is for a lot of other stuff, not like technically. But I know that they're doing a live stream at some point. I have to double check if it's happened or not yet, to like explain everything, because everyone is so mad about this app and this change. It's probably the most hate I think I've seen the IATF like ever get. Like reading the comments was crazy. Like I sat there and read the comments for way longer than I should have, because I was like, oh my gosh, these are so spicy. This is crazy.
Juicy drama.
I know.
But it's coming out on the 12th. The 12th is when the head of IATF is doing a live stream, and people can do Q&A and lay it out. I think I've listened to, I don't know about you, Sam, I listened to the girls podcast, actually of their own, and they discussed it as well. And it's kind of like they didn't really divulge, not them, sorry, IATF, didn't say like, oh, we're going to walk you through how the app works during this one-on-one, open conversation we're going to have. It's just open-ended. We're just going to explain things. But I think in agreement with them, with the girls, is that they need to definitely walk you through this app or do something. They need to get this explained in a way that we can all understand where their direction is, where their heads are going with what this app is going to do for us, how it's going to benefit us. And I have to say, I definitely appreciated. So Adeline on that app kept suggesting everything. The app, who pays $2.99 for an app, really, for an app like this function. She did it, and it was her episode. It should be 99 cents. She would pay 99 cents, $1. So I had the funny thing of I restarted it after maybe 10 minutes in. And I'm like, I want to count how many times throughout the entire episode. I think the episode was an hour and a half long. How many times she said that she wanted it to be 99 cents. So if my math is right, she did it 22 times during that entire time that she felt it should be 99 cents. Yeah, it takes a lot just to sit there and listen to it every single time. It made it actually kind of fun, though. It was enjoyable.
That's fun.
But I was definitely agreeing with them. They need to explain it in a way. Give us either a trial. Give us something to just... And hey, we don't know. They might be doing that come Wednesday the 12th. They could explain it and be like, here, this is the app. Let's walk you through it. These are the features. When we're done, hit us with your questions, and we'll do what we can. We'll explain it to you best we can.
So, personally, my biggest problem with this, and it's, I think, a huge problem, is that we're losing features that we already have access to that are currently free, and then we'll have to pay monthly for them. So if they were like, hey, we're coming out with a new app, everything you guys already have will remain free. There's going to be a premium version you can pay for where you get extra features. That's fucking fine. That's totally great. And I'm actually on board for that. But it's the problem that they're removing things that we already have and are relying on. And that's the underlying issue. And I think that's why, in my opinion, I think that's why a lot of people are upset, because that's what feels super money grabby. If they're like, we're just going to keep offering you more and you can pay for it, you don't have to. But now it's like, okay. And I'm really curious to see what they have to say in the Q&A, because I'm really curious about how a lot of the backlogging stuff is going to work. Like, are they just going to have your data forever and just not let you see it? Because what if you have been throwing for 3 years and you only paid for the app for 1 year, you stop paying for a year and then you pay for it again? Do you just never get to see that data again that you paid for like 3 years ago, even though they say
that
it?
That year off, did they record anything? Right? It's just like, it could be so many different things. Like the, it's just like, it's really scummy to do that. And it's just like, on top of all that too, like you were saying, like, it just seems silly. Like, it just seems like they're only going to get pushback. Like, if they wanted to make more money off of everybody, instead of doing it through this app like this, they should have just increased the little bit of fee that we pay each season or whatever, and then been like, okay, yeah, this makes it so the app does more things. And they're even the justification of, well, if you pay this, also make the increase of fee makes it so the app will store all of your data for forever. I don't think anybody would have cared then, right? Just having the idea that you always look at stuff on them, that would have been the justification for $2.99 a month. But it's okay. Sometimes people aren't the best at deciding these things, but they're somehow in charge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all a learning thing, though. So they're going to learn from this thing. Hopefully it's either going to work out or not.
Yeah, and like you said, the best thing I think they could do in this situation is just be open to feedback, right? As long as they're open to feedback, it's like the Sonic the Hedgehog, when they released Sonic before they released the movie, and that first iteration was just horrible. I always think that was a plot. I'm always like, you know what, they did that on purpose because they knew how bad that was going to be, and then they did the right thing, right? I'm sure they didn't do that, but it could be a similar situation. As long as the company is like, all right, well, we'll hear your feedback and we'll work with you guys, then I feel like hopefully everything will be good, right? So
yeah, honestly,
hopefully it doesn't drive further people away.
Yeah, that's what I'm really hoping. I don't know, because I think, to me, I could just be drawing something from nothing, but I
Right.
think when we see the correlation as well of like venues not doing well, people not coming back to throw, the population of IATF throwers is shrinking, and then we also see that they're trying to pull more money from us regardless, even if they're trying to offer us, in quotes, more features, yet they're taking stuff away from us that we have to pay more now for. Like, that doesn't look good, and it sucks, because I really, like, you know, I love the sport so much, even as someone who is new to it, but I'm like, that, it just doesn't feel good on your insides. And I'm like, when you look at it,
Nope.
like, I take a step back, and I'm like, whoa, no bueno.
Yeah. Hopefully,
Huge no
hopefully they
bueno.
respond the right way, because it's just
Yeah.
like you said, it's hard to continue to support an organization that clearly isn't interested in maintaining a healthy community.
Yeah, and I think in the long run, I think the IATF is really willing to try and do that. Especially because it is a smaller community, and obviously they want to grow the sport, and it is difficult. And I know they have talked about like the financial difficulties and stuff like that, and they've been not probably as open as we'd all like them to be about it, but open enough that like we understand that there's stuff going on behind the scenes that's not great looking. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm hoping the stream on the 12th goes very well. Obviously, this will be out after the 12th, so we're recording this before the stream happens, but obviously once it happens, we'll talk about it, and you guys will see that. So yeah.
Yeah, and nothing to, you know, I love the IATF. They want to grow, and they've definitely made leaps and bounds in, I don't know, this happened, I think, before, Sam, you started. Pickle might have been part of it already, but they used to be just the organization and then the throwers. And then I think it was maybe 2 years ago when they decided to work better with our regions and give each of our regions representatives. Basically, a thrower or a group of throwers who represented the throwers or the people to be that meet in the middle and, you know, keep things so transparent that we could understand what's going on. And they won't divulge everything, but at least not keep us in the dark on maybe things that might be changing or stuff like that. They could help us out. So yeah, I think the IATF is definitely just trying to do what they can, but there's always room to grow. We'll see.
Yeah.
And Pickle, to your point, the fee, as I've understood it, that we've always been seeing recently, actually does nothing to the app. Apparently, it goes to other things. So, I think a lot of people were misled by that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
That is what it is.
So I looked at it. I haven't looked at the comments again since then, but I also read it on the website specifically.
Yeah.
That there is one line, and they completely underline exactly what that fee does, but there is one line that specifically like talks about the app and the upkeep of the app, and it says that on their website. So I think that's why people were so upset, because then the IATF came out and they directly said, this has nothing to do with the app. This fee has nothing, but it says that it does on the website specifically.
Gotcha.
And that's why people were like really tweaking.
They're confused.
Yeah. So I'm hoping they also answer that as well on the 12th. But we'll find out. It'll be good. I'm sure it'll be good either way. So sorry, IATF, for giving you so much shit, but we give you shit because we want you to be better, because we love you.
That's right.
It's called tough love.
Not even tough love. It's called the right thing to do, man. You care about something, you are vocal about, and you want it to get better. No, period.
So, do you guys have any other comments on anything about the closings or our new app coming out?
Hopefully, it is a situation that they can handle and resolve in a way that continues to strengthen the community. Because again, that's the reason I'm here. I feel like that's the reason you guys are here, or at least continue to be here, is because you love the community. So
well put, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that was great. I said all I have to say.
Yeah, same.
Well, I think so. Moving forward with your career, Pickle. Is there anything now you want to do? It's with your own career. Do you want to travel more? Do you want to do something else? Do you want to get 1081s do you want to? Where do you see your career going there, buddy?
Honestly, I think now that I am confident in my ability to hit an 81, I want to try to hit maybe 1 or 2 more during league, and then I want to try to appear in some tournaments. It would just be fun, I think, to throw against some other
Awesome.
competitive people. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I definitely feel like I'd be more willing to do that now that I know I can hit an 81. So hopefully, I'll see some people out there on the circuit someday.
I feel like
yeah.
just like Sam. Yeah, I feel like Sam. I think Pickle's like in your boat. I think he needs to do a Choppers event because then he can go next door to the game store because that'll bring his nerdum into it.
It's true.
Full circle.
Choppers is like far enough away that it feels like you're traveling, so it feels really cool. But then there's also like stuff that you can do next to it. So I think going to Choppers is definitely a good one for sure.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm sure.
Yeah, the venue, I don't know. I love that venue so much. It's so cool. I don't know what it is about that like venue setup, but it's like it feels like you're like in sport mode, but you're also like, oh, it's so cozy at the same time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to say I've only ever heard good things.
Yeah. I'm sure at some point you'll be dragged up to Medusa at some point. So
For sure.
That as well. Correct. Another one that's close.
Yeah.
A nice little. There's a hole in the wall, great little world up there. People up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that's pretty awesome. I think a tournament would be great. I think you should definitely do that.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have to coordinate all of us, Russian Viking, just a little high bows. I'm sure we'll plan something soon.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You'll be definitely dragged in.
Okay. Is there words? Is there anything you want to shout out? Anything that you're working on? Anything you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, I've got an Instagram or whatever. Check me out, boo boos.
Yeah. I want to give a big shout out to my homies in the band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. They're 7 white guys from Australia, and even though they're white dudes, they are doing everything they can to make a safe environment for everybody. They talk about things that are like super awesome, like the environment, how we can have a better impact on it, facing your fears and growing as a person, and just really awesome rock and roll music. Like axe throwing, it's an incredible community to be a part of. So if you get a chance, check them out, man. Best rock and roll band on the planet.
We will get a link for King Blizzard's main website from you, Mike, and we'll post it when we.
Yeah.
Yes, when we announce the podcast, we'll put that on there for you.
Yeah.
People can check them out.
Thanks, guys. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. But thank you guys again so much for having me. It's been awesome being here and just getting to talk to you guys some extra time. And normally I only see you Tuesday, so it'll be great to see you guys next Tuesday. Love you both and have an awesome night.
Oh yeah, thanks. We still gotta do events.
Oh yeah. I just edit that part out.
No, that's staying in.
Oh no, that's staying.
But in terms of events, I think the biggest one on my mind is obviously the Urban Austin tournament. That's in April, so definitely go check that out. But check Facebook. There's lots of local marathons going on everywhere. If you're local, join our Facebook group that we have for the local throwers in the state. There's lots of other cool stuff that you should just Facebook. As much as Facebook is Facebook, like you can find lots of great axe events on there. So use that. Highly recommend. Yeah, that's all I got. You got any events, Graham?
Like you said, the Austin Urban closing event, that tourney coming up. Medusa Matery always has their end of the month event. They always do a little marathon. Their next one coming up, which unfortunately is booked, is their big axe that either will have happened or is about to happen. But yeah, always look out for Medusa for that. I don't think we're having anything right now at Urban. We're about almost a little over halfway in our season. Yeah, I think that's about it. Really.
Oh yeah. Well, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Make sure to subscribe and like and let us know what you thought down below. We appreciate you so much. So here. Stop. Don't tickle the
Make his hand
balls.
signs. It's fine.
Here on NAMP, we don't murder people with axes.
Huh? But you changed it.
No, I didn't. We don't murder people
we're
with
not
axes.
ex-murderers.
Oh, I did change it. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. You're trying to catch me off guard.
Okay, here on
We're
NAMP.
not axe throwers. We're not axe murderers. We're
Yeah,
axe throwers.
yeah. We're not axe murderers.
We're axe throwers.
Oh, that was so good. All right, we're ending it. Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks for
Thank you,
having me.
Mike.
Bye.
Bye.